This is called the hip hinge. This is critical for anybody who's suffering with constant chronic low back pain or episodes that keep coming back and they can't think of why that is. It usually has to do with poor posture and poor movement pattern or poor movement mechanics. So the idea here is when you bend forward to do the simplest things that you do around the house, whether that be washing your hands, brushing your teeth, and rinsing your mouth after brushing your teeth, or doing the dishes, people often tend to bend from their back to reach that sink rather than bend from their hips to do that. So the way you can differentiate between the two is if you put a hand flat on your back and one on your stomach, is if you're hinging from your back, you will feel your back pushing out against your hand, this hand here. That's what we want to avoid. The way you're going to correct that is by hinging at your hips. So imagine literally sticking your butt out. And if you put a hand on your back, you should feel no movement at all in that lower back. It's all happening at the hips. There's a big misconception out there that, this is bending at your back, and therefore lifting something from this position is not a good idea. And I'm telling you right now, that's not true. The way Olympic heavyweight lifters are lifting a bar off the ground for whether it be snatches or deadlifts or clean and jerks, they are bending their upper body forward. I mean, deadlifts, they're right over, but their back is actually not bent at all. Their back is actually completely straight. What's bending is their hips. So it is perfectly fine to be bending forward as long as you're not bending from the back, but rather bending from these hips. That's what we want to do. It's called a hip hinge. Think about all the things you do during the day, the way that you're sitting, the way that you're leaning back on your couch. Are you letting your back sag down? Or are you leaning back about the hips? Or even eating dinner at the table? Are you slouched over your plate or your bowl? Or are you bending forward to reach your plate or your bowl at the hips? Start thinking about these things. It will save your back.